All right, well, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and open up our file that we saved before. So I'm going to go to my Z drive where I saved it. Yours should be on the H. Go to my GIMP folder and open that up. And then you'll see you have, and you can see it's a GIMP file because of the little GIMP guy right there. So double click on that and open it up, and it should open in GIMP for you. Okay, so this time around, you can see, like I said before, our layers are still separated, which is good. So let's put in, let's just take the paintbrush. Now you may or may not use this very much, but we'll click on the paintbrush. Now whatever layer is active is the one it's going to paint on. So if I paint on the background, you can see it's not painting on the footprint because I'm really painting behind the footprint because I'm on the background. And you can see what that looks like right here. So if I move that up, maybe. After I moved it up, you can see my scribbles all show up there, and my background is on top. So my digital footprint is basically totally covered by this green background. So I'm going to go ahead and move it back down. And then I don't want those scribbles, so I'm going to I'll just Control Z my way out of here. There we go. Okay, so you can rearrange your layers, moving them up, moving them down. And then the paintbrush, the other option you have there is you have different brush options. So if we move this over so you can see that a little bit better, you have different brushes that you can choose. You've probably already figured this out, but you can do some kind of neat effects. You can also change how big the brush is over here by choosing scale. So if you choose scale and make it bigger, I mean, you could make these things huge, really, and then when you paint, it'll be bigger than it was before. So like if I go to 1 point, so you can see the difference right there. There's also some different effects you can choose if you want it to fade. Jitter kind of makes it sporadic instead of just a nice smooth line when you paint. So those are some choices. There's also some different modes up here. You can try those on your own and just see what you want. Opacity means how see-through it is. So right now it's totally solid. If I go toward the middle, it's going to make it a little bit lighter, so you'll be able to see through it more. So that's what opacity means. If something is opaque, that means you can't see through it at all. The less opaque it is, that means the more transparent or see-through it is. Okay, now let's talk font. So if I go over here to the capital A, that's going to be my font option. And then over here, yours might show up down here at the bottom of yours, and that's fine. You'll just kind of have to see where yours pops up. But you have some different choices of fonts. So you can choose those. Whoops, I didn't mean to close that, but that's okay. So you can choose, usually bold fonts are nice, so you can scroll down and see which ones you like, and it gives you a little example. So let's take, let's go the seed effects semi-bold. And then over here on the left, you can see I have my text options. So that's my font. Now 18 pixels is really small. So what you might want to do is go ahead and change that to something larger, or you can change to inches, something you're more familiar with as far as measurement goes, and maybe change it to 0.34 or whatever. I mean, you guys can decide. And then color, you can change that option as well. Okay, so here's my color options. So I could click click blue or yellow or whatever colors you prefer. And again, you can change it over here. Just grab this and take it to whatever color you want. So I'm gonna go with something dark, maybe just black. Let's go with red just for kicks. And then click OK, and it'll change your color to red. And then down here, you can justify. So if you want it centered, you can do this. This moves it over to the right, like indents it basically. And this one right here spaces it out vertically. So if you want more space between your lines, and then this one spaces out the letters. So if it looks too squished together, then you can change this. So it'll add a little bit of space. So you can see my mouse has changed to a different type. And then I get this text editor box. So you can see right here, I've just got some random stuff. So I'm going to say, what's your digital footprint? Oops. Boom. And then hit, you could, whatever you've selected, click use selected font. So that'll show what your font's going to look like. And then click close. Now, mine's not showing up, and the reason why is because my layer is right here. You can see my typing is right there. So if I were to go up, move this layer up, it moved up, so you can now see it's on top of the footprint. So you can do a couple things. First, when you get the little, it's called a double crosshair, which looks like a crisscrossed arrow, then you can grab it and drag it wherever you want. So if you want to put it somewhere else, you can. Just hit close. You can also grab the corners of this, make the actual box bigger. It's up to you. If you decide the size isn't big enough, you can change it over here. You have to have it selected though, so make sure it's got the box around it. And then, so maybe we'll make this 0.4. Oops. Okay, so now you can see I'm at 0.4 instead. So you can choose how you want to do that, if you want to move it or if you want to change it. Now at this point, I would say, you know what, I'm not liking this huge digital footprint in here. So I'm going to click on that layer. You can go up to the top and choose layer and choose scale layer. And that'll change the size of your layer. So I'm going to make it smaller. It's just a little bit too large and in charge. And then hit scale. And then now, if I click on the digital footprint and click on the move tool, now I can move it. If I go to my text and click on that, oops, wrong one. Click on my text and grab it, maybe not. I should have made a new layer on that one, everybody. That was my mistake. Okay, here's what you can do. Click on your text layer, and then over here on the left on the move, it says pick a layer or guide or move the active layer. Click on move the active layer. And now, there you go. So now you can move your text wherever you would like. And then if you want to move your digital footprint, move that wherever you would like. So, forgot about that for a second. All right, so there you go. At this point, one other thing I wanted to show you was filters. And I'm going to use my footprint for this. And you can do it on text too. But under the filters tab or menu at the top, this gives you a bunch of different effects that you can put on your picture or your text or whatever you want. So this is one of those things where you're really just going to kind of have to play around with it a little bit and see what you like and see how it looks. So let's give one a try here. We'll go to filters. Let's choose blur. Gaussian blur is a popular one, and you can see it gives you a little preview window, and it's not as clear. So like if you were maybe doing like a background and you want your words to pop and stand out, but the background to be visible but not necessarily as clear, so it kind of looks like it's at a distance, that kind of gives it a cool effect. And you can change this. The more the blur radius, the blurrier it gets. So we'll go with 5. 5 is good. And then click OK. And it might take a minute here, but then you can see it's got a little blur effect to it. So that's kind of a cool option. All these filters up here, I mean, really, just play around with them. The artistic ones, if you want to do that cartoon look, click on cartoon. You can change the settings here, and it'll give you options. Some are better than others depending on your picture. And then you can see what it looks like. You can scroll over and look at the whole thing and then click OK. And then again, it'll take a second here, but you can see it altered it a little bit. And it really depends, but it does look more cartoony, more like, well, it's artistic, like it was painted instead of a nice clear graphic. So some of those options are really, really cool. Another one that I like is noise. If you're looking for a really cool background, maybe we'll click on our background over here. So let's go with background, and let's go with noise, and let's choose, I think Hurl was a good one. I know it sounds gross, but hey. And okay, here it is. Here's the hurl. So you can see this is what it'll do to your screen. And then, you can change that accordingly. Randomize, a little less, a little more. So if you want it really, really, really crazy, repeat. Look at that. You can make all kinds of noise. And then click OK. It'll randomize. And you can get some neat looking background. So the filters window is one that you'll definitely need to play around with and just see what you like. That would be kind of a good place to start if you're looking for a cool background, and you can put in some really neat stuff depending on what you do. So there's some examples for you to play around with, and I'm going to leave it at that. Again, make sure at this point you want to save. So go up to File, again, Save As. In this point, everything should be fine because you're just going to save it again as an XCF file. It's in your GIMP folder. So as long as it says .xcf, you don't need to go down here and choose the file extension. You can, and just click on GIMP XCF image and then hit Save. And then it'll ask you, do you want to replace the old with the new? And you can say yes, because you've got your changes. If you want 2 separate files, that's fine. And then you can just go to just change the name is all you have to do, and then you can go from there. So there you go. Mine's taking forever to save. I'm sorry if that video was frustrating, because from my end it was frustrating to make because GIMP is running very, very slow. So anyway, good luck, and let me know if you have any questions, and we will work through it together. See ya.